Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Element Cup, which is going to be available next to the Master League as well for this time being here. For 1 week we're going to have this cup available. It's a little cup variant, so 500 CP is the maximum CP, as you're going to see as well with the Pokemon that we're going to have here. It's going to be a Ducklet Cup. Honestly, if you don't have a Ducklet, you kinda are screwed. Like, nearly every team that you're going to encounter going to have either Ducklet or Chinchou or both, most likely both, because, yeah, like this cup, I'm not going to do too many teams for it. I only have 5 teams. Usually I aim for have like around 10 teams, but for this cup, there's not a lot that I can do about it. Thing is, we haven't had this cup, I think, since Wing Attack got buffed. I think we had it, but I think we had it as a remix version, where stuff like Ducklet was banned, which helped out the cup a lot, because you see already, if you didn't know, the score on the right side for PvPoke doesn't really tell you anything directly, but can tell you differences between Pokemon in general. And you see here a score of 95, and the next one is like 85 basically, which is the same Pokemon but in the Shadow variant. Then you have Chinchou, then you just even have a small gap between Vulpix, and then it goes like down pretty fast, like 20 points basically between rank 11 and rank 1, and already like basically 12 or no, 11 points between rank 1 and rank 3, which is basically the only like 2 different Pokemon there. So it is a really a Ducklet Cup, as you for example can see as well. If you go for Great League, you have like 0.4 differences here. It's not really a lot. You see, like, until you get to 75 you have to scroll kinda a while. I actually don't, it's very far down there, rank 300. So you see how close Open Great League is actually together, and you see already how not close this cup is going to be together. So Ducklet going to be the best Pokemon in this meta by far. There are 2 answers. It's going to be Chinchou and Petilil, which you need to have a special hidden power for, which don't think a lot of people are going to have, so it's not going to be too interesting either for a lot of people. So yeah, what you're going to have for this cup is Vulpix most likely, Chinchou most likely, Ducklet most like definitely, like Chinchou Ducklet is basically the combination that you're going to encounter. It's really an RPS cup. You really want to have the Chinchou onto your Ducklet. You really want to have a Grass type against the Chinchou, and Ducklet can basically go up against anything that isn't a Chinchou. So like, yeah, it's a little bit tricky. It's definitely not a cup that I will play too much. I might do one video, I might do no video about this. I'm not really sure about this yet. Bulbasaur is not really that good either here. It is a sim hero, by the way, because you have like Seed Bomb as a good bait move, and like usually they hit with like Sludge Bomb in the sims. And like, yeah, it's not as good as it says here before as well. Like, Wooper is still decent, but tricky to play because of Ducklet. Vulpix is decent, it's basically one of the best Pokemon still in this meta. Otherwise, you're going to have Chikorita, you still have Ferroseed, you have Chespin, you have Bounsweet now with the Razor Leaf, I guess. You have a lot of Grass type Pokemon here. Turtwig is still very decent. Cottony is still very decent, but yeah, it's all a little bit tricky, so let's go into the teams. First team going to be basically, one of the teams that you're going to see the entire time. It's going to be Vulpix in the lead. Vulpix in the lead can basically just play out any matchup it wants to play out. Like, if you face something like a Ducklet in the lead, you just stay in. You're just going to spam those Body Slam. You have to have Quick Attack as a fast move. You kind of want to have a Shadow variant of it as well. If you face something like the Chinchou, you can also just go ahead and stay in. I think the Shadow variant actually can even flip the matchup sometimes. But in general, you just kind of want to get some kind of advantage in the lead, and then you're happy about it, because Vulpix doesn't really have the best answers, but of course the Chinchou should be later aligned against the opponent's Ducklet if possible, as well as the Ducklet should be aligned against anything other than a Chinchou. Next team is kind of that one flipped as well. We're going to have the lead of Chinchou. We don't even have a Ducklet in here, but we're going to try to bait that one out with our Vulpix. Vulpix still has access to the move Body Slam plus Quick Attack, going to be able to also still survive one of the Bubble Beams of the opponent's Ducklet. And then you're gonna try to make the way free for the Pokemon in the back. Either the Salandit, if you have this one, it's difficult to get this Pokemon. Basically, you have to have another account or something that is below level, I think like 15 or something, around like level 15, that hatches one of those Salandits from an egg and trade it over to you, because a normal one that you hatch is above 500 CP. So yeah, this is definitely a tricky one to get, and otherwise you can also use Growlithe. There are some other options as well, but it's all not really that pretty, to be fair. I'm really not a big fan of the cup, if you might expect already. Definitely going to see more Master League content on my channel, and I think for good reasons. Next team going to be with a Chinchou in the lead again, but of course course, also Slowpoke. Shadow Slowpoke is really good in this cup, as you're going to be able to do some nice neutral damage with your Confusion. Shadow variant is kind of needed here, to be fair, because it just does so much more damage. We're going to have a Saysop here of Turtwig, the Ferroseed, whatever you really want to use. I wouldn't use Ferroseed. Ferroseed might be a good closer. I still have here the Cottony on there. I still have Cottony on the next team as well. It's more like resembling the old times. Charm got nerfed in between as well, I think. So yeah, like this Pokemon is not as crazy good anymore, but of course still you can have other grass types instead. Just keep this in mind. But yeah, like Turtwig still very decent. The Chikorita is very bulky, as moves like a Body Slam and Vine Whip, which is really decent. So like, especially if you have a Shadow variant of both of them, very decent Pokemon to use. But let's go into the next team. Next team here going to be basically the one flip, but this time around we're going to have, of course, the grass type in the lead again. Cottony is more like resembling for the old times. If you have this build already, I think it still should work out as well. But Chikorita, most likely going to be the better pick. I'm not the biggest fan of Bulbasaur just because of the missing bulk, to be fair. Speaking of missing bulk, I would rather use the Saysop of the Slowpoke because I feel like it's really underrated for this meta itself. I think it can still flip switch against a lot of Pokemon that you wouldn't expect. You can of course still use the Duck instead, because the Duck can do anything it really wants to. Otherwise, you have to have a Chinchou on the team. Like, you have lead that's weak against the against Ducted. You have to have something that really beats Ducted, and there's only one Pokemon that does it, so it's a little bit tricky in this meta right now. But yeah, this is going to be, actually I think this would most likely be my favorite team, with the Slowpoke as a Saysop, the grass type in the lead there, most likely the Chikorita, and then the Chinchou on the back. I think this would be my favorite team out of them all. But let's take a look at the final one. And yeah, final team going to be, I think, similar to the first team as well. We're going to have the lead here of Chinchou again. We're going to have the Saysop of the Ducklet, and we're going to have a Fire type in the back. But yeah, basically you have a lead that's going to be weak against grass type Pokemon. You have a Saysop with Ducklet, which is just completely insane. And you're going to have a Fire type Pokemon in the back that should be pretty fine. I guess you could also think about putting a grass type in the back that can beat grass type Pokemon. That might help out quite a bit. I feel like Chikorita might be able to fill that role, but otherwise, this should be it for this team. Let me know in the comment section, are you playing this cup? What are you going to do for this next week? What are you going to do for the next week afterwards? Like, it's actually going to be a little bit tricky. Master League content coming up as well later on in like 6 hours from after I release this video. I'm going to put on a bigger video for the top teams for the Master League, like way bigger than usual, I think, as well. Like, I think like 12 teams or something. So that's going to be most likely more interesting for a lot of people. You're going to see more Master League content here, but you hopefully can get some more content towards the new season as well on my channel as soon as information for that one going to drop. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. See you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.